So I'm not gonna lie to you all, when I first heard about these leaks, I had no intention on covering them. I don't really like covering leaks because everything is subject to change and you have to take them with a grain of salt, right? But I thought about it and I've seen so many people on the timeline be excited about this. I've seen just a lot of I don't know what the proper term is. I just seen a lot of conversation around this, and I want to talk about real quick. I'll talk about the leaks a little bit, but more so about what this could mean for the future of Marathon, because it's not what the average individual would expect, right? So just going through the season 3 leaks, I'm going to kind of blur through these things because, again, we don't know if they're true or not. Like, we don't have the exact sources, kind of like a trust me bro type of leak. And this could be something that we heard, because this actually sounds really similar to some of the leaks back in like 2023, 2024, if I'm being honest, in some capacity. So this could just literally be like something made up, you know what I'm saying? But if it's not made up, I think it could be pretty cool, right? So again, I'm gonna breeze through these. I'll probably place them on the screen as well. And it reads: Season 3 PvE preview leaks, maps and bosses, map-wide cooperative PvE with events scattered throughout the maps. The new perimeter has a large underground expansion, roughly comparable in scale to the above-ground area, which, if this is the case, by the way, I will be really happy with this, and I'll make another video talking about why in the future. More so for the extraction loop. But there are supposedly 4 bosses: a compiler, which we know what the compiler is. It can be encountered naturally while exploring perimeter; a modified Locus, which is the community nickname. It looks like a giant locust shell, so a giant destroyer, which is kind of cool. Its signature mechanic is similar to Atrax from D2, so if you play Deepstone Crypt, if you know, you know. The Tick Queen, which is the fixed boss of the 4th run in New Perimeter, and then a mystery boss that has its own dedicated page, but nobody's encountered it yet. So those are allegedly 4 boss encounters that you can run into. Every map except Cryo has PvE content, which is kind of interesting because it's like, dude, we did Vault Breaker on Cryo Archive, so it would make sense to weave that in the mix if this is true, you know what I mean? But whatever. So PvE and runs, there are 4 runs total. For the first 3 runs, you can freely choose the map and extract after completing the objective. 4th run always takes place in New Perimeter and ends with the Tick Queen. During the first 3 runs, some materials go directly into your stash. The rest can be sold for money or converted into Cradle XP. Gear obtained during the 4th run can be extracted. All 4 runs receive a score, and your combined score determines the final reward tier. Progress can sync between teammates. For example, if your teammate is on run 3 and you're on run 2, completing run 3 will then automatically advance your sequence to run 3. Cool. Flash boosts, which is a new thing. Actually, before I talk about that, again, if this is true, I like the fact that they give us another means to progress, right? Cradle XP is one of the big things that I was leading into, using the vault data from Vault Breaker, right? I was just buying stuff and converting it into Cradle XP. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, we can do that without having to kind of, you know, grind your teeth in the extraction mode, I think is cool, especially if you're behind. Like, let's say you start playing Marathon a month later, everybody already has maxed out Cradles and stuff. Your Cradle's level 0, you can get into the PvE loop and grind it up. You know what I'm saying? Pause, or not pause, depending, whatever. Let's get back on topic here. So flash boosts, each player can equip up to 6 and they can be re-rolled. Rarities: white, blue, purple, gold, and red. Hot patch shield batteries restore ability energy. Healing items restore ultimate energy. Values 3%, 6%, 9%, 12%. All right. Big iron: when enemies are nearby, pistols gain additional range and accuracy. Electron release: EMP kills trigger chaining electrical arcs. What is this? Targets 2, 3, 4, and 5, range 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, different shells have exclusive flash boosts. For example, one boost for Vandal reportedly improves the range and damage of a fully charged hand cannon shot. Cool. The Tick Boss Queen fight, or the Tick Queen boss fight, is pure co-op PvE, no PvP, no traitor imposter mechanic like Gambit or something like that. Cool. Structures described as similar to the finale of COD 2022. Okay, I didn't play that. The ball spits hardening slime. Ticks continuously spawn throughout the arena, including black shell ticks. After killing enemies, there's a chance they could drop fuel. Collect fuel, power the machine, open the safe room, enter before time runs out, complete the burning phase, continue damaging the boss. All right, so literally like a raid loop, or like a raid mechanic, which is cool. I mean, this is what I would expect from like a PvE exclusive mode in Marathon, if this is true, right? This is the problem with leaks. You start to get excited and you start to read some of this stuff and it sounds great, and this may not be true, you know? So keep that in mind, y'all. Other changes, PvE sponsored kits can be upgraded. The faction interface itself can also be upgraded, with blue currently being the maximum rarity. Sponsored kits from different factions can be carried. Major changes are being made to vendor progression and purchasable items. New weapon, the V17, it can shoot flames, okay? A new throwing knife throwable has been added, so trick shots are incoming. In current testing, will pair with the V11, it can one-shot smaller UESCs with a headshot. A new revolver is in development but not finished. Rank mode is being updated along with what appears to be an Arachne-style weapon skin, W. Triage Shell is getting a new skin resembling Trained Monster skin series with unique voice aligns. Another Triage Shell, huh? Okay. I'm trying to think who really needs some shell love. I feel like Thief got the yokai, we got the samurai joint with destroyer. I mean, Triage got that one shell that looks pretty dope. It looks like a king. There's somebody I'm missing right now that could really use some love. Vandal just got White Rabbit that just came through. I think Vandal has some, I guess everybody's getting love. That's cool. To wrap this up, the Season 3 PvE core loop: choose a map, complete objectives, reroll, upgrade, accumulate resources and score, enter the new perimeter for run 4, fight the Tick Queen, receive rewards based on your total score across all 4 runs. Okay, so in reading this initially, again, trying my hardest to take this with a grain of salt. If this ends up being true, do I think this will be something that is really, really good and really, really advantageous in terms of what Marathon needs to continue moving forward? Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. Like, I think this is something that should have been like, hindsight is always 2020, right? But this is something that would have been great to release in Season 2. You know what I'm saying? If we recognize back in Season 1, okay, PvE is something that needs to happen, right? Or through the play testing, if Bungie had the wherewithal to say, look, we need some PvE in the mix, maybe this could have came out upon release. You know what I'm saying? Like I mentioned before, some of my prior videos, I think the extraction mode is incredible. Like, I enjoy it. But I know I'm like the minority in that regard when it comes to the extraction loop. You know what I'm saying? So an extraction game can have the extraction mode be like the main mode, but there needs to be things around it. This is a great start, and I think this is a step above Vault Breaker for sure, you know? Now, if you ask me, well, actually, before I get too far ahead, if you ask me about like this loop, other than me just generalizing and saying, hey, this looks good, if you ask me about this loop in totality, I would say this is a great loop. This is a great starting point here for sure. How long will people play it? I don't know. Now, I underestimated the PvE community when it came to Vault Breaker. There were a lot of people that I came across when I was, random queuing. Excuse me. There were a lot of people that I came across that had put in well over a dozen hours into it. You know what I'm saying? And I made a video talking about this as well, but I underestimated my time sink into Vault Breaker as well. I ended up sinking like around 20 hours into it alone, just casually throughout the day, and was like, oh, I understand it now. You know what I mean? So, and that was the Vault Breaker mode. Like, still, when I think about it on paper, it was kind of anemic. Like, you could tell they put it together relatively quick, kind of like a last minute thing, an experimental last minute joint, but still it was pretty lit. This is like that on mega steroids. You know what I'm saying? Like, being able to go in and to kind of, excuse me, and to kind of just go in and just kind of rock and roll and like choose what map you want to get on, complete the objectives. Like, it is like roguelike, because you're going to be upgrading your kid, and I'm sure there are other upgrades. You got the flash boost and all that stuff that you can start to incorporate in the mix. And I'll be honest, I like this more than if they just split it down the middle and you could play the entire game of Marathon just PvE only. Because again, like, what's the incentive there? Like, how as a PvE person can I like really enjoy that if it's like literally just Marathon without other enemy players on the map? You know what I mean? Like that, I feel like that would get boring really quick. I could be wrong, but something like this definitely fits the bill more. I feel like the stakes are higher. And again, I feel like this is Vault Breaker on steroids. I had some really fun runs in Vault Breaker with people that have never jumped on cryo before, or with people that really were getting their feet wet. They were teaching me stuff about cryo and vice versa. Like, that experience was dope. And again, this is magnified there, So all in all, if this is true, if this is 100%, even if this is 70% true, I would say it's a W, an absolute W. Marathon needs a W like this, especially when we're talking about out here in the sphere of gaming itself, Now, where I was getting too far ahead of myself, follow-up question to myself. If you were to ask me, do I think this is going to save Marathon? Like, is this going to be the Forsaken moment? I would say no. I would say no. And I'm not being cynical. I'm just being honest, not being realistic. I don't think Marathon is going to be a game that has that type of boom. Reason being is because first impressions are everything, no matter what. And I'm going to be honest with you all. Marathon's first impressions from day one, like, it's been bad. Whether if we're talking the alpha with the alpha footage and it getting curb stomped by arc raiders, whether if we are talking about the whole plagiarism scandal with anti-real, whether if we are talking about people, whether if they like it or not, talking about the art style or the gameplay loop of an extraction game, right? Whether if we're talking about the Steam chart watchers, whether if we're talking about Destiny 2 unfortunately being discontinued, or it's at the end of its life expectancy, and them pretty much shutting everything down while keeping the servers online. So all that vitriol gets targeted towards Marathon. Like, Marathon has not been able to catch a break. This may be one of the first breaks it catches, but it's not going to miraculously shift the paradigm. And Marathon Season 3 isn't going to, debut to 250,000 players, right? I can see Marathon Season 3 jumping up to, like, especially if they do another free-to-play week, I can see it jumping up to 25 to 30K. You know what I mean? And I think that would be great for where Marathon is. This is going to be an uphill battle. This is going to be a true, like, fight. They're going to have to fight tooth and nail, and they got to start stacking these W's, right? This is the first of hopefully many, and now they've put themselves in a position where not only do they have to develop for the extraction loop, but now they got to develop for the PvE loop as well, So any new maps, any future events, you name it, they got to make sure they take care of the PvE homies as well. So it is a double-edged sword in that regard, but hey, look, that's Bungie's battle. Look, that's where they put themselves. So it is what it is, right? And I think that just has to be the case. Hopefully this is something, and this is a step towards increasing the player retainment, or is that the word, or the overall player retention. There we go. Hopefully this is a step forward in that regard. I'm sure if you're watching this video, you've probably seen the Steam charts and everything, and see that Marathon only averages a couple thousand players a day, like 3 to 4K on Steam, like at its peak, right? Hopefully something like this can bump that number up more to that 8 to 10K range, especially end of season. I think that'd be cool, right? But it very well might not do that, because PvE players, typically they'll play something, they'll max everything out, they'll max out their cradle, they'll max out their kits, they'll do all that stuff, and then once there's nothing more for them to do because they've already whooped every single boss and did everything, they'll go play another PvE game, which is cool. That's fine. That's what they're supposed to do, right? So the numbers could very well dip back down. So what Bungie has to make sure they do is they have to make sure they still nurture the extraction loop. And I'm hoping that this PvE mode can help people if they have any interest in PvP in any capacity, or the extraction loop in any capacity, the high stakes and everything like that. If they have any inkling of an interest in that, hopefully the PvE mode can be a buffer for that, so they can learn the maps, so that they can just improve their overall gun skill, so they can know how to move, how to rotate, and so they can have stuff to take with them. It's really difficult as an average PvP player, right? If you're an average PvP, tongue twister. If you are an average PvP player, knowing that you're going to lose, 6 out of every 10 gunfights, you don't want to bring nothing purple in. You don't want to bring nothing gold in, because you're like, dude, there's more of a chance I lose it than there is a chance I make it, off of or out of outposts or cryo or whatever in one piece, right? If there are more means to be able to get those purples and golds, meaning that through the PvE side of things, you are in a position where, you can do a few runs and have the opportunity to reacquire some of that stuff, then you're going to be more apt to take that in with you. You know what I mean? Like, maybe the stakes lessen for sure, because you're like, oh, if I die, whatever, I can just go get it again. But at the same time, like, people in that realm, they don't want to. They don't like the extraction side, the PvP side, or the PvEVP side, because they just don't want to lose stuff. Like, that sucks. That feeling sucks, and that's why crazy people like myself enjoy extraction shooters, because there is that risk. But there are a lot of people that aren't crazy like me, and they're rational, and they're like, yo, I just don't even want to risk it, dog. I genuinely don't. For those people, maybe they will be more apt to jump into the extraction mode if they know there's another means of being able to get the purples and or the golds again that isn't necessarily me logging back into the extraction side and just praying to God I can figure it out. You know what I mean? Now, could that system be abused by, the grinders? Yes. But here is the thing. Grinders in general are always going to find a way to cheese the system. Like, look at my Destiny homies, man. Whenever there was some type of cheese to be able to get a bunch of rolls of a certain weapon, like let's use Season of Opulence as an example. If you're a Destiny, like if you an OG Destiny homie, if you know, right? And I just forgot the name of the event. Oh my gosh, I feel like such an idiot. But in Season of Opulence, once you completed the primary event, and I don't know why the name is blanking on me right now, it's gonna drive me crazy, but once you complete the primary event, you go and you can acquire your loot. People found a cheese to leave the room and load back into that respective area, and they can open the chest again, right? And they would rinse and repeat. Again, the people that are grinders, the people that will play Marathon religiously, PvE, PvP, no matter what, will always like have their vaults maxed. Like that just is what it is, right? You don't worry about those people. That's the top 1%, top 5%, whatever. What you want to worry about is your everyday average gamer, the person that only gets to play a few hours a day, maybe a few hours a week. If they have the opportunity to, grind some PvE, get some purples, get some golds, or at least have the opportunity to get some of those things, I think that could be good. That puts them in the position where they can go into the extraction mode if they want to, and if they lose their stuff, they won't turn off the game and never play again. You know what I mean? So kind of rambled there, I apologize, but ultimately, again, I think this is a great thing. I think this is a great first step. This could be the first W of hopefully many Ws to come. It's not going to completely shift the paradigm. Don't expect a huge player jump. I know people are going to make articles and videos. Oh, the PvE mode wasn't enough to save Marathon. No, that should have never been like the mindset or the thought process. That's silly. If you expected this singular mode to save Marathon, then I don't know. You're not looking at the long game. It's a step in the right direction. It can help people get through the door, but we have a ton of other problems we have to solve, especially with the overall extraction mode, because right now people are still feeling like this extraction mode is more of a BR, and people aren't trying to play Marathon to play a BR. If they want to play a fast-paced BR, they go play Warzone, they go play Apex, or if they're an OG, go play PUBG. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, and I'll talk about this in another video, hopefully the perimeter map, the huge underground expansion, is the first step in like actually improving the extraction experience. Reason being is because a large map is typically what extraction shooter enthusiasts like, especially a lot of the cats that came from like DMZ, they enjoyed Al Mazrah because it was a huge open map. Don't know too much about Tarkov, but it seems like a lot of Tarkov cats, they enjoy Tarkov because of the larger environments. Now there are some close quarter maps, I believe, but again, they like the fact that everything is going to spread out and you have a chance to run into somebody. It's not guaranteed every single match. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Marathon's leaning that way. Again, I'll talk about that a little bit more in the future. But yeah, don't expect this to completely change the game in totality. It will not, but it will help for sure. And I'm just interested to see what Season 3 like has in store. Like, I'm a Marathon guy. I love it through and through. I really want Marathon to thrive and to stay and to continue doing what it does best, but if this doesn't hit, if this doesn't land, if this doesn't cause things to start trending in the right direction, it's going to get spooky. I don't know if we're going to get a Season 4 or Season 5, but either way, it is what it is. As heartless as it may sound, it's not really my problem. It's not your problem to worry about either. If you enjoy Marathon, keep playing it. If you don't, go find something to enjoy. You know what I'm saying? If they take Marathon offline, it sucks. It is what it is. We will survive as gamers and we'll find something else to rock with. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna shut up now. I'm just rambling. Yeah, I'm gonna shut up. I love you all. Thank you all so much for coming and watching. You can let me know in the comments below what you all think about this in general. I love reading the comments. If you're gonna talk negative, you can still comment. It helps me out algorithmically. Thank you for continuing to spread Marathon around the internet, homie. Even if you don't comment, I love you all nonetheless. Again, thank you all so much for coming and watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.